Chapter 5. The 100-mile-an-hour Dog. Tina seemed to think that dog training was dead easy. "It's the same for any animal," she declared. "Dad taught me this special technique. It's called behaviour modification." I have to admit I was impressed. It sounded as if Tina knew what she was talking about. Mind you, Tina always sounded as if she knew what she was talking about. I should have been suspicious, but instead I listened to her and really thought success with Streaker was just around the corner. It turned out that Tina's amazing dog training technique involves using an entire packet of dog biscuits to try and bribe Streaker. By the time Tina had finished shouting and waving her arms about, there were no biscuits left, and Streaker hadn't sat down once, or come to heel, or stayed anywhere. In fact, she hadn't done anything except become so fat that her stomach was now the size of a hot air balloon. Mum wasn't too pleased either when she discovered that a full packet of dog biscuits had been scoffed in one afternoon. "That's £5 you owe me, Trevor. I'll take it out of the money I'm supposed to pay you at the end of the holiday." This was brilliant progress. I scowled at Tina. "Great. So much for behaviour modification. It's the first day of training and I end up owing money." "You did ask for my help," Tina pointed out. "If you're so clever, you can work out a plan for yourself." And she left in a huff. I didn't see Tina for a couple of days after that, which was probably just as well. I was a bit fed up with the dog biscuits. Anyhow, most of my time was taken up with walking the dog. Some of you may be wondering why I just didn't keep Streaker on a lead the whole time. Well, if you've got only half a brain, you'll have realised that if I had kept Streaker on a lead, then one of two things would have happened. Either both my arms would have been stretched until they're about half a mile long, or I wouldn't have any arms at all because they would have both been pulled out of their sockets. Streaker would be rushing around wildly, training a dog lead with two arms clattering about on the end, all by themselves. Not very nice, eh? The one good thing about spending hours waiting for Streaker to come back to me was that it gave me time to think. I decided that one of the reasons why Streaker didn't come when she was called was quite simply because she couldn't hear me. She was too far away. It was like trying to tell somebody in Tibet that their breakfast was going cold. I began to wonder how you could contact someone in Tibet. You could phone them if they had a phone. You could fax them if they had a fax. And then, kapow! This brilliant idea burst into my head like 100 firework displays all going off at once. Dad had 2 mobile phones at home and a fax machine. Of course, I could hardly send Streaker a fax, although the idea did give me a bit of a laugh. I could just picture Streaker rushing around with a fax machine tied to her back. All of a sudden there'd be a loud beep, 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 and this message would roll out of the machine and dangle in front of her nose. "Streaker, come home at once. Love, Trev." No, the fax machine would be a bit daft, but what about the mobile phones? The more I thought about it, the better it got, and I set about some careful planning. I waited until Dad and Mum went off shopping, then seized my chance. I nabbed both the mobiles, stuffed them into a rucksack, grabbed Streaker and headed for Tina's. Tina had an old pair of binoculars that I reckon would be very useful. Streaker managed to avoid the 3 lampposts this time, but for some reason she tried to mail herself in a post box. She kept leaping up and jabbing her nose into the opening. Tina wanted to know what the big plan was, but for once I was doing the organising. We reached the field. "Now what?" asked Tina. "I'm going to let Streaker go. When I need to know where she is, I'll climb a tree and find her with the binoculars." I grinned at Tina. Any moment now and my big plan would be revealed. "Oh yeah, and what do you do then?" I opened the rucksack. Tina stared at the phones and wrinkled up her nose so that all the freckles got squashed up together. What are those for? I'm going to switch this one on and strap it to Streaker's collar. I'll use the other one to send her commands, and also I shall be able to hear where she is. How? Asked Tina. What's Streaker going to do? Report back to you? I suppose she's going to ring you and say, Woof, woof. Hello, Trevor. I'm down a rabbit hole by the railway line. Back in 2 minutes. Woof, woof. You're jealous, I snapped angrily. Just because you didn't think of it, you're supposed to be impressed. I am, Tina went on with a huge grin. Woof, woof. Streaker reporting. Flying at 30,000 feet and going in for bombing run now. I had to laugh. You can never be cross with Tina for long. We strapped one of the phones to Streaker's collar, making sure that it was near one ear, and then we let her go. She seemed to think it was all great fun. Tina and I climbed up a tree to get a good view of the whole field and keep track of Streaker. The binoculars were excellent. We didn't see much of Streaker, but we got brilliant views of everything else. Tina turned them on to the row of houses at the edge of the field. I can see your house and garden, she said, steadying the binoculars on a branch. Your mum's put the washing out to dry. I can see your underpants. Don't get too excited or you'll fall off the tree, I warned. Tina swung the binoculars back over the field. I still can't see Streaker, she said. Hey, there's Charlie Smug walking across the field. What's he doing? I snatched the binoculars from her and focused them on Charlie. Tina was right. He was stumbling across the field, pushing, kicking and cursing an old shopping trolley, with his 3 dogs jumping around him. There was some kind of large plastic tub wobbling about in the trolley, and Charlie kept glancing around as if he wanted to make sure that he wasn't being watched. He never thought to look up to the trees, of course. But what on earth was he up to?